Yet another one to add to the Potato King win streak. Mikasa from Attack on Titan just fought Killua from Hunter x Hunter, and I'm gonna talk about it. I warmed up to this episode a lot from reveal to release. I love characters that use electricity, so I got pretty excited for this one. Although many people made a huge deal about how no one really knew who Misaka was, saying that it was a negative community response and no. Sure, there were probably some people trashing the matchup because of it, but most people I saw saying they didn't know who Misaka was just that. They didn't know who she was, myself included. A huge aspect of this show revolves around introducing these characters to more people, so I don't believe people not knowing them should keep Death Battle from using obscure characters. I mean, what really matters is if the episode is good enough to warrant people wanting to check them out. So, was it? Well, the analyses are pretty good. As I said in my Chosen Born review, the analyses have a weird Season 6 vibe to them, and I love it for that. I can't exactly explain why either. They just have that feeling. Even without that feeling, both analyses still rock. They go over their stories really well, I like how they close both out, and I also love how they go about their relationships with the protagonists. Nice to see them explain why they like them so much instead of just saying they're good friends. Also, using the same music as the Wario vs. DDD Next Time trailer and Killua's analysis was very based. They're a good couple of rundowns. Don't have much more to say. The running gag with the cutaways was charming. I like Wiz's and Boomstick's voice acting and writing too. They're just fun when they get to be like this. It's great. Now, I really want to get to this fight, so let's do just that. Oh man, did I enjoy this way more than I thought I would. Going ahead and getting negatives out of the way so that we can just stick to positives, the fight consistently looks pretty janky and slow at points, especially for how fast these characters are supposed to be. I can point out plenty of moments where things move at a way slower pace than what I would expect them to. It doesn't really look intended either. It doesn't happen in places that feel like they were meant to be slow motion, and there's nothing indicating that they are. It's just kinda weird. The models can also be pretty stiff at points, causing some jank, but to be fair, no episode is free from that, and most of the time, the models have some pretty smooth movements that look very distinct and well animated. It looks like it was their intention to make the characters be quick and zappy with their movements, so I'll let it pass. Also, W worked for Origin on the models as usual. Now for my final criticism, the track name. Not the track itself, the name. I mean, come on. Appy Zappy Boom Boom was right there. But in all seriousness, Diabolical Invincible Me may be a very terrible track name, but at least it isn't outright confusing. I have no idea what Change X of X Heart is supposed to mean. Also, yes, I am aware that the X's are supposed to be silent, thank you. But I have no clue what they meant by this. To be fair, I'm not very knowledgeable on either character, but even Potato King, who's a fan of both, doesn't seem to know, so yeah. Is it because Misaka uses coins and those are commonly called change? And because Killua is known for ripping out hearts? I have no idea. But that's enough on negatives. Now onto the positives. First off, the track itself. Man, this track is really good. It has the perfect amount of energy and suspense so expertly combined into one another. It's also just really catchy, okay? Art goes hard too. And I already mentioned how I like the models. So now I just want to talk about how freaking beautiful this fight is. Their backgrounds keep getting better and better, and this is no different. Midgar from Final Fantasy VII looks so beautiful in this animation. Cities with bright and colorful popping lights in the middle of the night are literally my favorite aesthetic, and they pull it off perfectly here. I also love how they use the electricity effects to make visual eye candy, especially for plenty of shots during the climax, which I will get to when we get to them. Lastly, before we get into the overview of the fight, the voice actors do an incredible job. Both Giselle Fernandez as Killua and Fenty Kelly as Misaka do really good in their roles. They're able to do their characters well when Misaka's doing her little inner monologues to try and get herself to focus, and when Killua does the same. I especially love Killua's performance when he's observing the giant electricity titan, and his death scream. Great acting all around. Now let's see if the rest of the fight holds up. We begin with Killua finding Misaka's coin with her asking to give it back. But Killua is kind of a dick, so she'll have to take it by force. I really like the shot of Killua staring down the railgun that's right next to his face, and catching it at the last minute. That was really cool and shows his character really well. Then Killua says, "Coins, huh?" I'm not finishing that sentence before we get to his most dangerous power, walking. But jokes aside, I do really like this moment. It allows us to see a cool use of the rhythm echo, and also shows us Misaka's intellect and how she's able to decipher solutions on the fly. It's a cool trading of abilities, and a cool moment altogether. We have our aforementioned inner reading of the other's advantages, and making up a way to get around it. Again, shows their characters perfectly. Misaka turns into Static Shock while Killua turns into Tony Hawk as the two race across rooftops shooting lightning at the other. Then we get to this part that I really like, as it shows a ton of trades between abilities. Misaka creates a storm above Killua, who uses his yo-yo to get himself out of it. Then he uses his other yo-yo to try and attack Misaka, who, in order to escape it, uses electromagnetism to stick herself to a nearby building. Who then takes advantage of the fact that it's metal, and uses it to tie up Killua and get him in a perfect position to use another railgun. That was a really unique way to have many of their abilities and weapons be used one after the other. It's great how creative they can get in these fights. Killua transforms into his dinosaur mode, or Godspeed I think it's more commonly known. Then we get a cool little action shot of Killua spinning and throwing Misaka farther at the building as the two prep for a fight on the side of the... Wait a minute. Anyone getting deja vu? Electric teenagers, one who's superior at hand-to-hand and strength, while the other is better at range and uses electromagnetism. The former uses an ability of theirs to trick their opponent's senses, but it's disrupted by their opponent's counter ability, and the latter surfs around on a piece of metal, which is taken away by their opponent, and there's a fight on the side of a tall building. This is literally just Miles vs. Static 2, and let me say, I love Miles vs. Static, so comparing this episode to that one is a really high honor. It's actually kind of crazy how deep that comparison goes. Hell, they even showed Spider-Verse footage in the intro. They knew what they were doing. I still haven't seen Across the Spider-Verse. Please don't kill me. Anyways, getting us back on track, the fight on the side of the building is easily the slowest and jankiest part of the fight, but it's still really cool. And it's made up for by Misaka getting decked in the face. Come on, Killua, didn't your father ever tell you never to hit a woman? Oh, wait. In response to this, she calls her friend Kevin, or creates a giant electricity monster, in other words. In an amazing introduction. The suspense of Killua clinging onto the wall, looking at the city lights flickering, then seeing this really clean looking hand-drawn shot, and this amazingly drawn lightning giant. I have no complaints after this moment arrives. It's practically perfect until the end. The really cool amount of shots we get, like with the Titan destroying the building, Killua suspending himself in the air and summoning his snake thing, and the screen turning to black and white when Killua rips out Misaka's heart. Or the fake Misaka, I guess, because surprise! It's a fake out! Leading us to where Misaka is calculating the angle and distance of Killua, like the nerd she is, to take the final shot. And boy, what a shot it is! This killing blow is awesome! And yeah, that's pretty much it. Though I did forget to mention this shot of the transition between Killua and the coin falling. That was really cool, I like that shot. And also, Misaka does pull a Poe and laughs after she literally just killed a dude. But I mean, I don't really know if that's bad characterization or not, so I'll just let it slide. But yeah, overall I really enjoyed this. It truly exceeded my expectations. We have some fun analyses, good cutaways, and an awesome fight all wrapped into one package. Of course, it isn't free of flaws, but it's still pretty incredible. And Potato King really loved it too. Like, really loved it. He even likes it more than Chosen Undead vs. Dragonborn, so that's gotta say something. Personally, I still like that episode more, but I can see why Potato King would prefer this one. It's nice to see him so happy with an episode where he adores both characters. He just keeps on winning. But not anymore! Next time, it's me and Capsirus' turn with an episode I'm a little hyped for.
Oh, this is Lucina.
Summer's coming this year. Bro! Yes! Yes! Yes!
Oh.
Yes!
Alright.
Oh my god!
You, Luke.
Oh my god! Yes! You know, just a little bit. God, in complete seriousness, I am so excited for this episode. And so is the Raptor, who just got his most wanted. That explains the Luis tweet. And seeing his reaction to the announcement and watching his prediction video for the matchup put a huge smile on my face. Like I just said for Potato King, I love seeing people just gush over getting their most wanted or a fight they really, really liked. I just love it when stuff like this happens. I really hope the Raptor enjoys this episode. And I hope I enjoy it too, because man, I love both these characters so much. Lilo and Stitch is one of my and my sister's favorite Disney movies, and Rocket is one of my favorite characters in the MCU. I also still haven't seen Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I cannot wait to see both represented in animation and analysis. Though I can't bear to see either die. This episode cannot be bad, it just can't. Honestly, I don't even know what I want to say about it. I'm just really excited for it. I hope the track incorporates the Guardians theme from the MCU, as well as some Hawaiian themes. Maybe Hawaiian Roller Coaster Ride or the theme song from the series in the track. That could be cool. This is the most excited I've been for a death battle in a while. I'm even more hyped for it than I was for SpongeBob vs. Aquaman. I'm dead serious about that. I'm rooting for both, and while it is really close, I just have a feeling that Stitch is gonna take it. I can't wait to watch this one. It's gonna be a banger. So yeah, a W episode with an even bigger W for the next time. I'll probably give this one a high 7 out of 10. It has its flaws, and also I don't really have a huge connection to either series, so it doesn't get any brownie points either. But I still really liked it. And while I prefer Skyrim vs. Dark Souls, I like it more than Ant-Man vs. Adam, so that's something. Not sure if I like it more than Miles vs. Static though, so I guess time will have to tell with that one. I'll be seeing you all when Peak Fiction releases in 2 weeks.